Hi, this is Angela with today's Cup of Tea. Here's a habit that we have, and it's a very big ingrained habit that we have brought forth to ourselves throughout this entire existence. It's part of our disassociation with being the divine. It is part of us disempowering ourselves, and that is externalizing the existence of the divine, whether you want to call it creator, God, spirit, universal life force, mother, father, God, creator, all that. We have allowed, first of all, because the first step in disempowerment was to allow others to tell us that we didn't have the power to do something, that we didn't know how to do something, that we weren't powerful enough to do it, that we were, we weren't worthy of it, and that to connect into to the divine, however, whatever you want to call it, that it would have to be done through certain channels, certain avenues, certain other people who are special, which then of course implied from the ego that some were more special than others, all that kind of stuff. Some were more connected, some were closer to God than others. See how that happens in the hierarchy of power and of ego, and of how we have done such a great job at exploring that. So what's happened is, over thousands and thousands of years, through multiple belief systems and institutions, we have convinced ourselves in many ways that the divine is outside of us. Even people who've been doing this work and truly believe that, say that they subscribe to that, will still say, oh, the Lord brings this to me, or he helps me find my way, and all that kind of stuff. Belief systems, disempowerment, that's what we've tried to learn, and that's what we've done a great job at doing. So now, here's the deal. We're going through the spiritual journey back to awakening and enlightenment. And part of the enlightenment is finding the divine within us. Finding and remembering that we've never lost it, that it's always been there, that we've always had these abilities. And part of why we shut them down within ourselves was because we wanted to have this experience of pretending we were separate. So the divine is within and without. It goes with that whole saying, as above, so below. I always say as within, so without. How much we talk about what goes on within us reflects with mirrors in situations around us. And when we start working in energy, and we start working in our psychic, what we call our psychic abilities, or our supernatural abilities, which really are just our natural abilities, are our truly divine natural abilities. Part of the connecting in isn't going outside of our bodies and going someplace else. It's going within, going to the heart of our soul, and connecting in that way to the oneness. So it's sort of like, in many respects, and this is how I sort of always used to look at it, it's sort of like we have the two, and I've talked about this so many times, about the 2 to 3 trillion cells in our body at any given time, and how they all come together in their consciousness and create our body forms singularly, and yet we never consciously think about that. That's sort of how I see the oneness of everything, is that we are all parts of the same thing. Every cell is important. Actually, the cell is not the best alliteration or metaphor, because cells sort of have walls and they can be separated and stuff like that. That's sort of the pretend that we have from our perspective. However, they share energy, they share information back and forth. Part of the oneness is the fact that we are part of the oneness, and we all make it up. We're all part of the divine. And so therefore we can access the full power of the divine at any time when we completely tear down our walls and remember. So the first steps in doing that is taking on that responsibility for yourself, taking on the belief and understanding that Creator is within, that the divine is within. So when I do these clearings at the end in theta healing, and I say, would you like, creator's truth and understanding or whatever, all that really is doing is, it might sound like I'm externalizing it, but what happens, and how I explain how the theta healing works, is in the theta state, they've shown that that's where we connect to the oneness in the most pure form from this consciousness. And we leave the ego behind. And when we can do that, we truly can connect and remember our connection, even though we're always connected. But when we consciously connect, and then we remember the divinity within us, we remember that we can co-create reality, and then we do just co-create reality. That's really what part of the premise behind the theta healing clearings that I do and everything is. So when I say, would you like creator's truth, understanding, would you like to have creator do this, and da-da-da, what that's doing is saying, would you like us to go to that oneness, which is what we're all a part of, you and I together, and we will recreate this part of your reality because it doesn't serve you anymore, and you want to do it in a better way, in a more graceful and easy way, or all that kind of stuff. So when I say that for the benefit of the person, so it's sort of like walking with everybody through step by step. When I do the work myself, I go up there and just say, okay, change it. Let's change it. Let's change it. That's co-creation, because we're all a part of the same thing, and it's still, we all have the ability to tap, the full ability to tap into the full divinity. And it's a matter of simply getting there without the walls, without the belief that it's outside of us, without the belief that there's some God sitting on a throne somewhere that's going to throw lightning bolts down at us for something. That's a whole different discussion on judgment, on the perception of judgment on another day. That's another thing we created too. So, the only thing that I have understood, my understanding is the only absolute in this universe is love. So what is love then? Love is the divine. Love is all of us, and in pure form, that's what we are. So that takes a lot of readjustment on many of our minds in taking that divinity within us. Because, it was funny, a conversation I had the other day. Somebody asked, what is the proper level of humility? And I said, well, why does there have to be humility? And they just sort of looked at me and said, well, that was created by the belief systems. And I said, because humility is just as, if you want to look at it as a harmful kind of thing, or whatever, just as egoic, humility is just as egoic as pride. They're egoic-based words. I said, and quite honestly, here's the way I look at it. We're all part of the divine. Therefore, we are all divine. We are all limitless and boundless, and we are all perfect and beautiful, magnificent. And we are all equally boundless and limitless and divine. So, of course, we're amazing and magnificent and wonderful, but we all are. We all are all important. We all are priceless and just part of this amazing divinity. And when we have that, and when we come at that truly from an egoic standpoint, and we say, we are all beautiful, we're all perfect, we're all the divine, then why is there a need for humility? Because I'm not saying I'm better than anybody else. I'm saying that we are all the same in that divinity. We're all the same in that beauty and magnificence. So that's how, we are starting to shift our perception. When we can shift our perception from the God and divine being outside of us, that has caused all this egoic, who's better, who's not as good, who's, worthy, who's unworthy, those judgments and blah, blah, blah. That's what I said. That's a whole discussion for another day. But the key is to pull in that divinity within us, pull in the knowledge of our perfectness and our magnificence and our divinity, and to know that we are the ones who create. We are part of the creation. We are part of the ones who are creating. And we're all one. So essentially, there truly is no separation within us. There is no separation with the divine. It is just a part of the drama, the stage that we've set, and the puppets and the puppeteering all together. So on that, we're going to do our clearing today. Would you like all the following without trauma, drama, or illness, without creating or recreating a situation for illustration or experience, and all with ease, grace, balance, harmony, joy, fun, excitement, adventure, love, and humor? Would you like it for all versions of you, all times, all places, into the ever-expanding universe, to infinity and beyond? Would you like to receive all information via instantaneous and comprehensive download with fully conscious understanding in the moment, version, and timeline from which it is requested? And would you like for all of the truths and understandings, the divine truths and understandings and perceptions, perspectives, discernments, and definitions that we bring in from Creator, the Divine, to replace your own and become your own for divine alignment? And then would you also like to offer all of these clearings in today's session to all the higher selves of all ancestors and descendants for their version, if they so choose to accept? And on that, would you like to dissolve, resolve, release, and clear all etheric binding agreements that require you to disengage yourself from the divine, to externalize the divine, and to cause the feeling and understanding that the divine is outside of you, that there is a disempowerment of any kind? Would you like then to also get the Creator's truth and understanding as to why we have had those agreements in place, how it served us, how it will serve us to be without them, to thank all parties involved, and to download the feelings and understanding of apology and forgiveness to and from all parties involved, and to offer apology and open the doors to apology and forgiveness to and from all parties involved. And then pull all the related beliefs, including God is separate from me. I am separate from God. I'm separate from the divine, whatever your term is. The divine is outside of me. The divine judges me. The divine is separate in any way from me and from anybody else. And anything related to that, pull all related fears, anxieties, regrets, rejections, resentments, and anger. Pull that's related to those beliefs and those agreements. Pull all memory and energy that from the cellular level. Pull all self-limiting thoughts, words, and actions from the cellular level. Transform the Creator's light, send them back to Creator, and close those receptors. Open new ones and saturate the cells and in between the cells with the highest vibration of Creator's unconditional love. And download the beliefs: I am the divine. The divine is within me. I have full access to the divine at all times. I am fully limitless. I fully have the power of the divine within me. The divine and I are one. All those kind of things. And knowing, get the truths and understandings, the teachings from Creator on how that feels, on knowing that, on moving forward, knowing that, getting the knowledge, downloading the knowledge and understanding and feelings of that, knowing that you're worthy, deserving, and able to, that it's possible, allowed, okay, and safe to, that you're ready, willing, and able to, and you have that in your life right now. And then would you like to write off as completing the Akashic records, heal, resolve, and clear the timelines in all directions to infinity with the violet and platinum flames? And to do that, take a deep breath, clear your mind, be open to receive, and say, yes, Creator within. And that's it. Have a great one. We'll talk to you next week. This is Angela with Today's a Cup of Tea.